Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again for another episode of Let's Make a Movie. This is probably not going to be the best video, so this is my monthly video for February 2025, and it's really unfortunate because this month could have been a really good month for filming. It's actually one of the dates when Drimp was originally supposed to come out, which is my first movie. It was supposed to come out on Valentine's Day, but I ended up having to change that and put it to August, possibly. And then I planned on filming with an actress for my second movie to shoot like 6 days with her, but then that fell through, and then finally I planned on shooting with the other one who's like more of the main character, and I planned on shooting with her for like a weekend. So the problem was I needed to find a new character, a new actress to play this character, and I ended up surprisingly finding like a good chunk of people who were really, really enthusiastic about doing it, and it was surprising. Like I did the manifestation checklist thing where I created like a checklist of all the attributes that I wanted in the person that I would pick for the role, and I really felt like I found like the right person. And she's only a state away, and she seemed really, really excited, and she didn't have a problem with me being a one-man crew, which I don't know why I have to tell people that as if I'm some sort of a bad person, like, why it would matter to begin with, but I'm just doing it now sometimes just for cautionary sake, because apparently like there's supposed to be other people there, like ideally, but it's like, yeah, but that's just not the case all the time. Like every situation is different. And like, honestly, I've been trying to finish a first film for years now, and it would have really helped out a lot if people just didn't complain and showed up and did their work and fucked off. It would have been so much more helpful than like, all that's happened in the past couple of years. So I really, really tried to take a lot of care and consideration into the person that I would choose to play this character, because I would have to spend, I think, about 10 to 12 days with this person. I even offered her a chance to cameo in my other movie. So I was really, really serious about, this role and this character. And, this person, honestly, the person I chose, let's just say things weren't the greatest, like, in terms of her audition. Like, I really thought she did this thing where she said that she had two versions of the character, and honestly, both versions were basically the same. They were really not very different at all. There wasn't very much nuance. It was just kind of like cartoonish and goofy. And she had like a laugh like a chipmunk. But I ended up choosing her because I really liked the laugh. And I thought that the funny little laugh that she was doing would really help with the character to add to its creepiness, to her creepiness. And then also she has experience working with a camera. So I was really excited about utilizing her skills to help me film shots and make things a lot easier. I ended up choosing her, and we set up filming, and then I ended up getting my 4th magazine article request. So that is actually due tomorrow, which sucks because now I don't have any new filming pictures. I don't have any new pictures in general, except for like one. And I was really hoping that like I would get a bunch of pictures with her and just have it be like an exclusive for us in the new movie. and for it to be like a really cool thing, like it would really benefit both of us. Well, let's go to Friday. Friday, she told me she would be here very late. She said she would be here around 1 in the morning. Now, I was really anxious and scared because she didn't want me to go meet her at the hotel to say hi and make sure she was, safely like registered and everything at the hotel. So I was really worried that like, what if the hotel like doesn't even have her name or anything? Like, what if they say like, oh, sorry, there's no room here, like even though we ordered the room. So I waited up all the way until 1 o'clock in the morning to make sure that she got there safely. And then I texted her, and then an hour later, she texted me back and said, oh yeah, sorry, I was up later doing stuff, and so I'm not going to be there until a lot later. I got a late start. And I was like, oh shit. So then I went to sleep like reluctantly. I was so like light, or not like, I was really not in the mood to sleep, because of all the stress and the anxiety and just, what if, and, like, what if I woke up in the morning and she told me like, hey, I'm in my car somewhere and I don't have a hotel room. Like, I thought that was really like shitty. So then I went to sleep and I woke up and she texted me at 4 in the morning. She got at the hotel at 4 in the morning. But you know what? I was like, oh, I feel bad for her, and maybe we'll have to like have like an updated schedule where, she comes in later and we film later. The schedule kind of pushes everything back a little bit. Well, my schedule that I created started at 8 in the morning. I wanted her to be here by 8 in the morning, too. As soon as I wake up, I still woke up at 7 in the morning. So I only got like 5 hours of sleep. And I was really, really not feeling well. In fact, this whole weekend I was feeling really sick on and off. And today, too, Monday, I felt sick as well. And it's probably from stress, lack of sleep, etc., allergies, too. And then when I woke up, I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Like, because we spent the whole day Friday preparing for this girl to come here. The whole day. We had everything set up, and I ended up just waiting around all day. I waited around until 10 o'clock. And then she was like, okay, I'm up now and I'm getting ready to go. What makeup do you want me to put on? And I was like, the makeup that I told you that corresponds with the scenes that are on the schedule that because I sent her a makeup guide and it said you're to wear this makeup this day and time and then, change it for every single scene. And she was like, oh, okay. So then I ended up waiting until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I was willing to cut her a break on Saturday because, she had a long drive from Indiana and, she got here at 4 in the morning. But then she comes here and she tells me something that is funny because it's what the other actress told me that was also a lie. And she said, I just can't believe this, guys. I put the fucking page numbers in the schedule. I put the titles of the scenes in the schedule. An idiot could look at the script and figure out what scenes I was talking about. And, well, she shows up and tells me she doesn't know what scenes that I'm talking about on the schedule. She says that the titles don't correspond with the scene titles in the script. And I was like, well, actually, that's a lie. Because in the script, there are all these sequences that have captions, that have title cards. The movie is split up into title card sections. Well, on the schedule, I have different titles for the specific scenes. The individual scenes. And this is when I should have realized this supposed professional actress came here without reading the script. So she had no idea what any of this stuff was. She had no idea. She signed a contract, guys. She signed a legal document to act in a movie without reading the script. I mean, how fucking retarded could you get? Okay, like, are you serious? And so, yeah, like, I should have taken that as, like, a huge red flag, and I should have just been like, you know what? I'm going to let you go. But I already paid for her hotel, too. And we'll talk about that as well, because she screwed me over with that, too. So, we got to filming. Honestly, the filming was really, really weird. I had shot lists, and I don't know what the deal is. Like, I'm really getting sick and tired of people coming here and then, not doing the stuff on the shot list. But, like, I had these shot lists, and basically we just threw them out the window, and she just kind of did what she wanted to do, because she was, holding the camera at some points, too. Even when I would tell her, like, the shot that I wanted, she would get, like, the shot from a different angle or a different kind of shot. And so she was basically, like, ignoring the shot list. She was only looking at the script. And at first, I thought she was okay to work with. I mean, she wasn't terrible to work with, but I did not appreciate her being so late and not telling me that she would be that late. I mean, because I just sat around waiting. I was very stressed out. I sat on the couch, and my cat came up and sat next to me because he sensed how terrible of a day I was having with this unprofessional person. And then, as the day went on, she started reading more of the script and acting in more of the scenes. And this is where things kind of took a turn. It seemed like the more and more she read the script, the less she was into the movie. It seemed like the more and more she read the script, the more and more she basically didn't care for it and didn't care for the characters, the story. She didn't even really understand what the story was. She didn't understand the character at all. Because how could you understand a character if you haven't read the whole fucking script? So in the evening, she just started doing things that were, like, not in the script. And she just started, like, taking things that were in the script and ignoring them and kind of just doing what she wanted to do. And it got to a point where I could tell she was not the right fit for the role. Like, I was very, very, like, disappointed. I was kind of like, okay, you know what it felt like? It felt like she wasn't prepared at all. It felt like we could have shot the day that she auditioned, and it would have been exactly the same kind of experience. So that's how bad it was. She was very weird, too. She never drank any water throughout the day. She hardly ate anything, and I know that that's kind of a weird thing to complain about, but I'm just trying to paint a picture of, like, how weird this whole experience, and she never went to the bathroom. I mean, it's just really, really weird. I mean, I'm just, sometimes, you find these people who say they want to be actors, and they are just the weirdest people that you can find. They are just the strangest people. So let's see. I want to see what else I can... If there's anything else from the first day. Nah. Oh, okay, yeah. So in the evening, one of the things that she changed... I don't want to get too in-depth, because one of the things would be kind of like a spoiler, I guess. But the other thing I can say... So we were doing this scene where... a guy comes home to his girlfriend, and he tells her what they're going to be having for dinner. They're having, like, a dinner. They're hanging out at his house. And he comes inside, and he has a little back and forth with her, and, he gives her a hug and a kiss. I mean, it's a typical thing that, like, a couple would do, especially in this situation. And I don't want to explain any more, but it completely makes sense, especially when you read the entire script and you understand the characters, the themes, and what I was going for. And that's what I found is with a lot of these amateur actors, is that they don't trust the filmmaker. They don't trust their vision. And so what you end up getting are these entitled, lazy pieces of shit who basically just waste your time and money and effort. And that's exactly what this girl did. So she said, "Oh, instead of doing that, can he just kiss her on the forehead?" And I was like, "What? Like, what the fuck?" And she was like, "I just feel like it would be more natural. I don't think that, like, a guy and a girl would, like, a boyfriend and girlfriend would, like, kiss and stuff. I feel like it would be more natural if he kissed her on the forehead." And it's like, okay, like, and at that point, I could kind of sense that something was off. And I could kind of sense that this person, it was like she realized that this movie, either, like, it wasn't her thing, or it was something where she got into something that she shouldn't have gotten into because it wasn't for her. And now she was, like, trying to figure out ways that she could basically change it to make it hers. But, you know, you can't do that when you don't understand the story, the characters, and when you're not the director or writer or producer. You're just an actor. So I went along with her. It's probably the most weird thing I've ever done with an actor. It was so weird and bizarre. And I was like, you know, this doesn't look natural either. You know, like, this looks even less natural than what you were complaining about. I mean, it blows my mind. Like, so she was reading these scenes as we were acting in them. That's why probably she had these adverse reactions, is because she even admitted, "I need to study my characters' lines more." And that's what her laugh was like too, by the way. And another red flag was my cat did not want to go anywhere near her. Every time he was in a room with her, he would run away. And she would be like, "Oh, kitty." So then the second day, this is when I was kind of upset, because I was like, you know, I want to fire this girl. She's not the character. She's not doing what the script is telling her to do. And so, you know, she needs to be fired and replaced with someone who can do what they're supposed to do and what they signed a contract to do. And I just didn't know what to do, though. Like, should I fire her immediately and just tell her to go home? But she told me to make a reservation for 3 nights. So that included Sunday night. That meant that I thought she was staying Sunday night and that she would leave in the morning on Monday. Well, that turned out not to be true, because when she came here again, by the way, when did she come here the second day? 1 p.m. The schedule starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and this unprofessional girl comes here at 1 p.m. And by the way, I didn't mention, but she kept on looking at her phone the entire shoot, and it really pissed me off. I would tell her to put her phone away, and it was like she was, like, glued to her cell phone. And, you know, this is what I'm saying, guys, with the cell phones and the TikTok and the social media, it has destroyed people. Because, I mean, that is completely inappropriate to be, like, in a work environment and just stare at your phone all day long. So she gets here, and she says, it would be nice to, like, finish as early as possible so that, like, I could drive home. And it's like, well, wait a second. I had to book 3 nights at this hotel. So we booked, Safi and I, we booked a hotel room for this bitch. And I'm sorry if I sound unprofessional, but I'm pissed off. I had a terrible weekend, and it was a terrible experience. I was so sick. I made myself sick being so stressed. I put all my effort and my focus into this project. I put all of my focus into trying to do a good job, and that was what I got from her. That was what I got from this quote-unquote professional, this actress who came here. And it really, really, really is not okay. Like, it's just, I'm getting sick and tired of this shit. And but honestly, I don't really care as much because I wanted to get rid of her anyway. And there's like 4 or 5 other people who want to take her place. So, yeah, I'm excited to figure that out because I just want to finish a damn movie. That's what I want to do. And when you work with these kinds of unprofessional people, they just make it impossible. And it's weird because you'd think too that after she read the script the first day and she didn't like a lot of the stuff, you'd think that a smart person would read the other scenes on Saturday or Sunday morning so that she would know what she was going to do ahead of time and study her lines and be prepared like a professional actor. Nope, she didn't do that. She just showed up and said, hey, what's the plan? It's like, well, the plan is the shooting schedule that I sent you a week ago and I made. What do you think the plan is? We're just going to dick around? Like, so on the second day, I got to admit, I was really pissed off. I wasn't having it with her. I was kind of like just completely like over it with her the entire day. And by the entire day, only 2 hours of filming. Because what ended up happening was she went from putting in like 10% of her effort into the project to only putting 1%, if even that, into the project. She was rushing through things. She was like, oh yeah, can we just do this all in one shot? Oh, can we just do this scene in 2 shots? Can we just combine all that in one shot? And then she started like basically like trying to direct and saying like, oh, can we just do are we going to do that? Are we going to cut to you now or something? Like, it's like, why are you pretending like you're the director? This is what I'm saying with like these people like Blake Lively and people like her, is that these young actresses, they have this sense of entitlement that has got to end. And they've got this sense of like weird self-importance of like, you know, it's like a lack of trust, it's a lack of respect, and it's a thing of like, I really think, to be quite honest, I don't know, but I think that here, this situation was because she thought because I was alone and there wasn't anyone else there that she could control me and destroy the project. I think if there were other people there, she would not be saying and doing a lot of the stuff that she did. But it got to be so problematic that like in the middle of doing like a take, she would just mess up her line and I would have to say like, no, that's not the line. And she would have to be like, oh, okay. And it was so awkward and terrible. Like, you know, like these characters, they're supposed to be like boyfriend and girlfriend, and you can tell from my body language especially that like this is just like the biggest nightmare I've ever had. It's the worst filming nightmare I've ever had. It got to the point of where I felt so stressed out, I was starting to have a panic attack, and I had this terrible headache, and I couldn't think straight, and that was when things got really terrible. She finished reading one of the first... by the way, this is one of the first scenes in the script. So she didn't even read a couple of pages of the script. Too fucking lazy and entitled and dumb. So she finished this scene. And it got to the part where we needed to do, let's just say, a fake intimate encounter. You know, because this is a guy and a girl who just met, and they're like, you know, really, really in love, quote unquote. And also other things are going on that I can't talk about. But like, it got to a point where we needed to do that. And all of a sudden, she said, no, I'm not doing the porno scene. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, and she basically ripped apart the script and took out pages and just threw them at me and said, I'm not doing that. And then she started complaining about it, and it's like, well, you signed a contract that said you would do everything in the script. You would perform everything in the script. And I said, it's not a porno scene at all. And then she started complaining, and she pretended like it was. And it was so aggravating. I was doing everything I could to like hold back and not like just destroy her, because like I was so like irritated of like, wow, this was a complete waste of time, money, and for you to act like that, like you have a say over what you do and don't do after you signed a contract that said that you would do everything in the script, is just fucking bizarre. I mean, it is so bizarre, because it was basically like where she was starting to pretend like she was making the movie, is what I mean. So when we were talking about doing this quote-unquote porno scene, which it wasn't a porno scene at all, it was all off-screen, and it wasn't anything bad at all. It's just a complete lie. It's a complete, But when we were talking about it, she was like, don't you think, like, we should prioritize, like, the other scene? Because, like, that's more important for the story or whatever, of her being a creepy stalker. And it's like, well, why are you saying what the story is when you haven't even read the script? And you don't even know the character? Like, how dare you tell me what scene is important and not important? And so when she said that, I was like, okay, but we're going to have to film that scene at some point. We're not just going to pretend like these scenes aren't going to be shot because you couldn't read the script because you're a fucking unprofessional piece of shit who doesn't deserve to work anywhere in the film industry ever. And then she was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so then I was like, okay. I was just like, okay. And then I asked her, did you read the script before you signed the contract? And she said, no. And then she just started looking at her phone. I was like, yeah, I figured that out. And then I sat there and I basically like made an excuse for her to leave. I said, oh no, we can't film anything more today. Oh no. And so then she left, and like I didn't even open the door for her or anything. I just said, fuck you. And I just sat there and watched her leave. And, well, she did one last thing to demonstrate how unprofessional she was. She stole pieces of costumery. She stole 3 rings that I gave her for the character. These rings cost about $40-something total. And although it's not $50, it's not a felony, I will still have to make a police report if she does not return them in the next week. So yeah, she went home, and I fired her on her drive home, and then I blocked her, and I said, fuck you, because I couldn't believe it. I was so sick, guys. I was so, like, sick to my stomach and just sick in every way. For the rest of the day, I basically just sat there like a zombie. Like, I was so, like, stressed out. Like, I couldn't move, and I couldn't think straight, and I couldn't do anything because I was so, like, frustrated and, like, just weirded out by, like, how could someone who's pretending to be an actress come and do something like what she did and think it's okay? I mean, I could see if she read the script before she signed the contract and said, hey, I'm not comfortable with filming these kinds of scenes. If you would agree to edit them, then I will agree to be in the movie. And at that point, I would say, no, I'm not doing that. I'll hire someone else. But it's another thing to sign a contract and to arrive late 2 days in a row And you know what I was thinking too? I was thinking about The Irishman, Al Pacino. If somebody arrives late, 10 minutes late, it's understandable. But if they arrive 15 minutes late or more, they're saying something. So what are you trying to say to me by arriving late? That was such that I love The Irishman. I want to watch that movie like right now. But yeah, like I was so tempted to tell her that too. Like when she got here, I was so tempted to do an Al Pacino impression to her. I was gonna be like, young girl, why are you late? We're not gonna start filming until you apologize for being late. What are you trying to say to me? And really, what was she trying to say? Basically, that she could just do whatever she wanted because she's a young actress and she can do whatever she wants because that's the environment that these studios and these agencies and all these casting websites, that's what they want the film industry to be, is all these actors who are out of control and think that they can do whatever they want. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to put up with it. So I'm going to be having to put more conditions and be a lot stricter with people when it comes to coming here to film and with contracts because I'm sick and tired of wasting money and time on these fucking people. And in this case in particular, because I thought about it, I had a realization. When you bring people to come make a movie with you, you're paying for people's vacations. You're paying for people to come have a vacation. Just because they're coming to work doesn't mean that it isn't a vacation in this case, especially because it's making a movie. I mean, it's fun. You try to make it fun. You try to have fun and be nice and be polite and respectful. But, I realized, you are literally paying for people's vacations when they come to make a movie with you. And I thought, wow, that is insane. I haven't had a proper vacation in years, and I would much rather go to Italy and visit this girl named Sabrina that I know than pay for these fucking stupid people to come here and be unprofessional and not film what they're supposed to film. So yeah, I fucking hated this weekend. It was the worst time I've ever had filming. It was the worst experience. I'm still not over it, but I am kind of getting over it now because I talked about it with you guys. And because I wanted to tell you guys, I know especially I have a fan who's making a movie, and I know that if she had the same experience happen with her, that she would probably have a heart attack. I mean, how could you do this to someone? Go to a different state and come to work on a project with them and just not have any idea about what the character script is and just pretend like you can do whatever you want to do, show up late. And that's another thing. If there were other people there, would she be showing up 6 hours late to film? That's another thing. So, yeah. That was a terrible, terrible filming experience. Yeah. I hope I never have a filming experience that bad again or I need to be able to manage these panic attacks more because, even this morning, it was so bad that, I tried to shoot this video, 3 times and I couldn't do it. It was too hard. I was having anxiety. I was having a very bad time. And luckily, I'm feeling better in the evening now for some reason. I don't know. So, yeah. One last thing I would like to say, which is more of a positive thing, is that on Friday, I was clearing up space so that I could add the footage of us that filming on the weekend, me and the girl, and I was editing together a big sequence that I shot in the past 2 months, and it's funny because when I had all the footage separate, I was really worried about the sequence that, it would turn out badly. But then when I edited the footage together, I'm not kidding you guys when I can say I'm really proud of what I filmed in the past 2 months. It looks really, really, really good. And one thing in particular is going to be like a highlight of the movie. And I'm really, really excited for people to see it. And I think the thing that just made me realize, like, or just made me happy was the fact that, like, when I filmed those scenes, those shots for that big sequence that I just edited together, the people who worked with me, they trusted me. And they let me do what I needed to do. And they let me be the director, the writer, the actor. They let me do what I was supposed to do. I had a shot list. I followed the shot list beat for beat with a couple of exceptions. And I'm so shocked at how good that sequence looks, at how good that sequence is in comparison to what I thought it was going to be. Because it looks exactly how I pictured it back in 2022. And it's really, really special that happened. I'm just really, really thankful for that, because I love that sequence. I can't stop rewatching it over and over and looking at these moments, like even moments where I was like, okay, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here. And I felt like, wow, that is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, I know that this video was a bit of a downer, but I just wanted to end on a bit of a high note. And also, I am still working in conjunction with someone about going to New Orleans and helping someone else direct their movie. It's going to be very, very good. It's a crime movie, and I love New Orleans. I love New Orleans food. I love New Orleans people. I love New Orleans history. It was a project that was made for me, and I'm so glad that I met this other person. And it's funny, too, because I know all these other filmmakers and these people, and, like, they don't understand why I keep having these problems sometimes like this. Like, they do not understand. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't either. Like, I guess I just have to be a jackass or something. Like, I don't know what I have to do. Like, I guess I have to balance, I have to find balance, like, in Cobra Kai, I gotta be nice, but I also gotta be the boss, and I gotta be someone who demands respect and demands people to do what they're hired to do. I mean, I paid this girl too. I paid her $100 to film this weekend. She would have gotten like $600-700 total. Like, I paid her to come here, show up late, and then not do what was in the script. So yeah, what a complete waste of money. What a complete waste of time. And yeah, I hope this girl never finds work again. In fact, I am posting a picture of just myself. I'm not going to post a picture of her. And I was looking back at our footage, and I gave her like the most mean side eye that you've ever seen. Like, it was so, like, I've never given someone that mean or nasty of a look before. And like, I caught it on camera, and it is so hilarious because when I looked at the footage, I realized, wait a second, I unintentionally recreated that meme from The Boys. You know the meme where that redhead woman, whatever, she's like coughing, and then Homelander, is that what that guy's name is? He looks over at her like in disgust. Like, I literally recreated that meme on accident, and it looks exactly like the meme. And I was laughing so hard at that. And that's what made me feel better too, is like, I looked back at that horrible thing that happened, and I just laughed at it. I just laughed at her. I laughed at her terrible acting. And by the way, another thing that she did that was very insulting to me that was she wouldn't look at me in the eye. She would keep on moving her eyes like around, like anywhere around but at me, like the whole time. Like, and I mean, like, like those clocks with the cats, where the cat eyeballs like keep on looking around, like left, right, left, right, left, right. That's what she did with her eyeballs. But she was also kind of intending that as like crazy girl, like something a crazy girl would do. And I was like, yeah, like, I guess, but like, I think that a crazy girl would not stop staring at their subject of obsession. You know what I mean? Like, that's what predators do with their prey. They don't like move their eyeballs around and look at other things. They look at their prey, study their prey, stare at their prey. And even when I told her to do that, she couldn't handle it. So, God, what a terrible, terrible time. So, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, though, because I'm going to expose these people who commit this bad behavior. I'm not going to sit back and let this shit slide. I'm not going to sit back and let these actors, quote unquote, get away with things and basically just, go around doing whatever they want. I mean, it's not right. It's not fair to us filmmakers with visions, scripts. And I mean, what about all the other people that worked on this film? It's not fair to them either. Like those people that came here and acted with me for the other sequence for this movie in December, they put a lot of hard work and committed all that time and effort into helping me. And for her to do that is just completely wrong. And I really think the film industry needs to start gatekeeping these types of people out. And we need to start enforcing rules, and we need to take away the sense of entitlement that young actresses have in particular. Because guess what, guys? Remember that guy I talked about in December who showed up and he was like a jerk filming? I would much rather work with someone like him than work with someone like her. Because at least he got done what he was supposed to get done. Okay? So, yeah. Terrible. I can't believe it. Sorry guys, I've said terrible a lot. I'm in such shock, such a state of shock. I couldn't even DoorDash today or anything. Like, I was so sick, and I didn't get much sleep on Saturday night either. So I woke up early again too. Like, even though I didn't get much sleep, I woke up early and I was ready to go. But then the unprofessional person couldn't show up. Showed up 5-6 hours late. So please like this video and comment. Tell me what you think about this unprofessional, disgusting fraud. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest videos about the filmmaking process. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.